Hi, my name is Mary Shestak, and I am a senior communications major in the interpersonal track at Bloomsburg University. I chose the topic homosexuality in Russia. I chose this topic because homosexuality is becoming more and more talked about. Homosexuality is a main topic nowadays since it is becoming more normal to talk about and less taboo. There are still some issues surrounding the topic of homosexuality, primarily in Russia. A little bit of the background is that there are still a couple of issues with homosexuality, and they go as far back as the 17th century with the reign of Tsar Alexis Mikhailovich. Both homosexual males and females would be put to death if found out about their sexuality and found out that they were known as homosexual. In 1716, homosexual relations were completely banned to have or engage in within the armed forces. In 1922, after the overthrow of the Tsar government, old laws regarding sexual relations were changed and homosexual and transgender relations were legalized. There was a lot of back and forth between the government and homosexuality regarding the legality of homosexuality, with it becoming legal and illegal. Finally, though, in 1993, homosexuality was legalized by President Boris Yeltsin. A couple of the changes with homosexuality are that in 1993, homosexuality was legalized. Then, later on, in 1999, homosexuality was no longer viewed as a mental disorder. A couple years later, in 2005, Nikolai Alexeyev founded the LGBT Human Rights Project. This project was created to fight discriminations and raise awareness of the LGBT issues in Russia. This small project later turned into a huge transnational organization promoting the LGBT rights in Russia and Belarus. Nikolai Alexeyev also created what is now known as Moscow Pride. Moscow Pride is a demonstration of the LGBT community. It was supposed to take place in Moscow every year during the month of May since 2006, but later it was banned until 2010. Even though it was banned, this didn't stop people. The demonstrations between 2006 and 2008 were followed with homophobic attacks. Later on, the Moscow government later enacted a 100-year ban on gay pride parades in 2012, therefore creating all gay pride parades, including the Moscow Pride one, illegal. Homophobia in Russia is a big deal. There are multiple instances when it was showed as well. One example would be homophobia in Chechnya. There are reports of men being beaten, electrocuted, and abused by police before they were able to go and fled the country for safety. There are similar occurrences with this, where suspected homosexual men were found, rounded up, and held against their willpower while they were being tortured, starved, and asked questions, trying to find other homosexual men. There have even been accounts where the men were forced to put wires around themselves so that the Moscow police were able to go and electrocute them. When Chechnya's leader was questioned about this, he denied all accusations, stating that there are no such attacks, even though there were some men who survived, stating that the attacks did happen and mentioned stories about how they were tortured. There were even some religious institutions that tried to cure homosexuality. They tried to do this by going through a step-by-step program. A final step in this program was trying to go and find members of the opposite sex and sleeping with them. Some people who went through this program have said that it actually hurt them more than it has helped. It has left them more confused than when they first started. Another main issue that happened was that children were removed from suspected or known homosexual households. They said that they did this for the safety of the children. As a summary, to go over everything that was stated throughout this presentation, there is homosexuality in Russia and it has come a long way from since when it began, but there is still room for change. People still have problems with homosexuality and can't seem to accept the fact that homosexuality exists and is a part of society. There are still issues that need to be taken care of and that need to be addressed regarding homosexuality and protecting homosexual members. Homosexuality is becoming more and more talked about, but the main question is, will Russia ever fully accept homosexuals and no longer discriminate against them? Or will they go and have to live in fear of being abused and targeted and tortured for the rest of their lives?